Hi, everybody. This is Brenda Thompson, your host for Just Show Up. And today I have with me Dee Dee Vidrine. And we're so happy that you could join us today. Dee Dee is in real estate and has been licensed for a little while. And we'll talk all about your journey and all about the things that maybe some issues you've come across along the way and things that you've overcome and things that you're looking forward to in the future as well. So, welcome, Dee Dee. We're happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So, as you know, this episode, we kind of talk about just being present and showing up. And sometimes the concerns we've had along the way, the changes we've had along the way, the one thing that we are happy we did, or maybe the one thing that we would give advice to someone else as they're starting their journey. So, tell me a little bit about your real estate journey. How long have
Okay,
you been
so
licensed?
I have been licensed now for 11 years.
Okay.
Prior to real estate, in my early adulthood, I worked for corporate America and contemplated going to school because I was actually hiring college graduates to work under me without a degree. So, as life happened, I got a little older, ended up having children and needed something that was going to give me independence. So prior to real estate, I was in medical school. So I'm a nerd by nature. So studying and the time that it took through medical school to get to where I wanted to be was so consuming. My child kept growing, and before I knew it, she was preteen. And my ex-husband's job was relocating. So in a nutshell, I opted by being convinced by one of my friends who was also a realtor to try real estate out. And I left medical school because of the, I guess, neglect that came with it as far as my preteen was. Chose real estate for the freedom, and it's been magic ever since.
I love that. I love that you say it's been magic. That's a pretty bold step. Obviously, you're very, very smart. You wouldn't have been in medical school, but I can only imagine you felt a few hesitations on that.
Absolutely. I was afraid altogether, having studied so hard in school and realizing that in the end, I'm not going to accomplish what I set forth for was very disheartening. But I also knew that I wanted the freedom because of my child, and I wanted to be a good mother and be able to participate in things that I learned through medical school that I missed a lot. I missed a lot of firsts, because I was studying. So those years I knew that were coming up were crucial. And I'd rather be a good mom than a good doctor. So
I love that.
having chosen real estate and the brokerage that I joined, when I went to what was called career night and just hearing their platform and what they stood for, it just aligned with my own beliefs. And I chose that brokerage, and I have no regrets since. I have not left. I've been with the same brokerage all 11 years. I have no intention on leaving. It's been fulfilling.
I love all of that. Is there something that maybe then or along the way that you wish you knew then what you know now?
Yes, I will say, I wish I knew then that real estate isn't as beautiful as HGTV makes it look out to be, or, social media, or, just seeing other people in that role. If I had known what it took, I probably would have been a lot more motivated in the beginning, honestly. Like that would have been more challenging for me. The TV made it look easy. When I got to the brokerage, hearing them made it seem easy. And then when I got licensed, I was like, uh-oh, what now?
And that's some of why we're doing this podcast too, is to help people understand it's a lot of hard work. Our business is hard work. It is not set hours. It is not set days. And while, yes, it affords someone like yourself who wanted to be there for your child at specific days and times, it affords you that ability. It also means you're working a lot of nights or weekends around that too.
It comes with the cost. And you left out the fact that our roles aren't just as a realtor. Like we are counselors, we are, best friends sometimes, we are, emotional support sometimes. Like there's a lot that goes in hand with real estate. But the one thing that I have learned, like you said, we work weekends, we work nights. One of the things that I can take away that I've learned over the last 11 years is to have business hours, to teach your clients how to respect your profession. Because
Yes.
my very first client, I said, call me anytime. I was at a family reunion. I missed that entire family reunion. They had no regard for where I was, even though I told them where I was going. So I learned really early on to set boundaries, but be firm in my practice too.
I kinda did the same thing when I first got my license, and at that time, I was single, I didn't have kids, it was very easy and I had a mortgage and a car payment, but it
Mhm.
was very easy for me to truly 100% believe, "I will do anything for my clients at any
Yep.
time because
Yep.
I want to help get them to closing." And at some point, after too many 11:30 at night phone calls is when you realize you do have to set some boundaries,
Yeah,
and it's all with the best intentions. It's also so that you can be there with them for them 100% when it's their
exactly.
time too.
It's no
Yes,
different than being a good mother. I know that being a good mother means that I have time for myself as well. I apply that same principle to my business because I
and
can only be as good and as focused as I am when I've taken care of myself, my home, and everything else.
I kind of would bet that some of that comes from your medical background, that you realize that you have to be good to yourself to be good for others.
Absolutely. Parenthood taught me that as well, though. I remember, my daughter was a preemie, and so I was locked up in the house with her, no pet dander, no dust, all of that. But once she got healthier, I was like, I've got to get out of the house and away from this child, even if it's just for a few hours. So that my medical field and, having time blocked for what was necessary taught me the same as well. Yeah.
I like to time block my calendar. I time block everything, personal time, business time,
My
everything.
thing, if it's not on
Yeah.
my calendar, it doesn't exist, and I'm not
Mm,
putting it on my calendar the day of. My day is already planned. I can put something on tomorrow or when I have availability in the future, and that's just a practice that I stand firm on.
good, good. What is there the one thing that you would say, must show up for? I must always do this for my business. It's the one thing I have to do.
I would say the one thing that I have to do is be loyal. Be loyal and be, I guess, diligent are the 2 words. And that's what I promise to my clients at all times is my loyalty lies with you. I am going to work and get the job done the best way that I can, making it as seamless as possible for you. So I show up that way and with confidence to let them know that I am the person for the job.
I love that. I love that.
I love that you
Um,
love.
It's funny because we see in talking with people, there are so many who do put clients first and not to the detriment of yourself,
Mhm.
but we are absolutely putting our clients' needs front and center. And we are here
Absolutely.
to take care of them and represent them and negotiate for them and get them whatever it is that they want, get them the very best deal for them. So
2 of my
something
biggest compliments is after every transaction is, "Dee Dee, you do realize that this is our house and not yours." That's a compliment all the time for me. And then the second thing is they say, "You know what? You made this so easy. I think I wanna be a realtor too." Those are 2 of the best compliments ever. And it just means that I did what my goal was.
And that second one is a great compliment, and I'm sure you pull them to the side and say, "Except, let me tell you the things that happened behind the scenes. I'm
Like
good at what
girlfriend.
I do, and that's why it looked easy."
I had one client that was also a friend, and we're still associates, but her wanting to become a realtor really put a strain on our relationship because she thought I had magic juice that I wasn't sharing, and I didn't. I didn't lie to her. I made her transaction very seamless, and she thought she wanted to do it, and she jumped in and was like, "Wait a minute. I have to do what to get clients? I have to continue networking. I have to continue searching for people. I have to put myself out there. Like, there's not something that just feeds me clients." And I'm like, no, like, I didn't buy you as a lead. Like, I got out and I met you and told you I was a realtor. That's how you get clients. So once she jumped in and realized that it was actually hard work, it put a strain on our relationship. And, it's unfortunate, but that was the true story that actually happened, that your realtor
Mhm.
may make it look simple, but this is by no way easy work.
It is not,
Mm.
no, but those of us who are good at it make it look good. We make it look easy.
And that's a good thing. Again, that's a compliment, but it could be a double-edged sword in the
It
scenario that
is, and I don't know if our viewers can see that your shirt says, "Just ask me about real estate,"
Yes.
and I wanted to point that out because it is in our mindset to be thinking business all the time, and I think so many people from other industries don't realize that either.
We are a walking billboard. And I
Yes.
tell, now I'm at the point in my career where I pay it forward and I teach other realtors or newer realtors my techniques and my beliefs and my mindset. And one of the things that I tell them all the time is you are a walking billboard. Every person that you run into is a potential client. So if you're not advertising what you do, and not necessarily advertising, it's just a reminder that I am a walking billboard. This is how I eat is by letting people know what I do. Otherwise, they don't know who I am.
And finding that balance to be able to do that, and especially with your closest friends, to remind them that this is what you do and it is what you do for a living, and finding that balance is sometimes a little harder than it seems.
Absolutely. And it's especially hard when your friends tend to forget that you're a realtor. That has been some of the biggest heartbreaks that I've had in this industry. And it's okay because, you know, for whatever reason, my faith, I believe that what's for me is for me. And so when that happens, I just accept the fact that it happened for a reason, but it still doesn't take away from the ache.
Just in talking with you, though, I would imagine you probably do a little internal reflection on, are they on my newsletter? Are they getting my email? What more could I do that are those little kind little reminders?
Absolutely. And again, it's just a part of networking. It's just a part of having my tools to remind people that I am a realtor, whether that be social media or wearing a t-shirt to brunch that, has my business name on it or anything like that. But it is a constant mindset to me that I have to let people know that I'm in real estate at all times.
Is that what has been the most surprising for you about this industry, or what has surprised you the most that you have been able to prove and overcome?
I am surprised that real estate is a relationship business. It's not a transactional business. TV makes it look transactional. It's not. Most of my business is repeat business from people that I have serviced and from people that know me personally. So it just goes to prove that real estate is actually a relationship business. You want to be the realtor for them and anybody that they know that has a real estate need.
What is your favorite tool in keeping up with all of that?
And keeping up with my database or keeping up with
Uh,
networking? My data
Relationship or have
my phone, you know,
okay.
it my phone is my best tool. I can post on social media. I can call, I can text, I can send an email. My phone is my biggest tool. So I hear all the time, "Oh, you answered fast. You must have your phone in your hand." I'm a realtor. I'm supposed to have my phone in my hand at all times. So yes, just being accessible and staying top of mind, not so much advertising all the time because I am real estate and my mindset is, like I said, to let everybody know that I'm in real estate. But from a personal perspective, I come from contribution all the time. It's just my nature. I wanted to be a doctor because I love people and I want to help people. So that same principle applies to real estate. So I literally come from contribution. I connect people. Hey, you need a plumber. I know a plumber. You need this, or you need a cleaning person. I know a cleaning person. That is just what I do. The money will come. I'm not concerned about the money. I'm concerned about being a good person and being professional and doing what I do best.
And you just said it, you do it, and that same reason that you wanted to be a doctor, it's about giving to people and taking care of people, and while in real estate, you're taking care of them in a different way, it is exactly what we do all day, every day.
It is. I have a story about that. I remember leaving
Yes.
medical school. I just thought, I'm not going to get that same feeling. When I was in medical school and I did a few clinics and had the reaction that I had, I was like, oh, this is so fulfilling. So when I got into real estate, I thought, this is the biggest purchase of people's lives in most cases. So, being on edge and knowing that I'm holding their future in my hand, it's my responsibility to get them across that line, but also just recognizing that I am enhancing their lives. I've had clients that have bought and sold in 2 years and walked away with $250,000. That has changed their life and the trajectory of their future. So, my very first sale was with a couple that was in their 50s, and it was their first home they were ever buying. And I convinced them to stop renting. And I literally just sold their house this summer, and they walked away with a really good penny. But I had that moment with the wife when we did the final walkthrough for the house, and we were in the kitchen. She looks around and I said, "What's going to be your theme for your kitchen?" And she said, "My theme." And I said, "Yeah, like, are you going to do like, Tabasco? What are going to be the colors? What's going to be your theme? Like a potato or a sunflower or anything?" And she just looked at me and was like, "I never realized. I'm just now realizing that I can do with this kitchen whatever I want to do." And at
That
that
she can
moment,
choose a theme.
she's like, "It's my kitchen. I can paint the whole kitchen black if I want to." And I was like, "You can." And she became teary-eyed. I became teary-eyed. And I thanked God at that moment. Like, that's that feeling I was looking for, aside from selling their house here in the past summer, after they lived there for 8 years, and them sailing off into the sunset. Vacation, bought an RV, like, just the benefits that they got from investing in real estate, basically living the way that they were living before, but pouring back into themselves. They got the big picture.
I love that you were there for that light bulb moment that she had of being able to see that, oh, this is my kitchen. I do get to choose a theme because it's my kitchen.
Yeah, they literally are living off the grid for a while because they had such a substantial return that they don't even have to worry about buying another house right now. They're retired now. They bought, it was their first home, and I hope not their last home, but just seeing that in their 50s, they bought a home and they're sailing off into the sunset with funds that they never would have had, and living their best life at this point over one decision that I
I love
convinced them to do.
that you helped them through.
Yeah, yeah.
For those of us who've been within the real estate industry for a number of years, you get that full circle experience because when you
Yes.
take care of your clients as you do, they come back to you. So you're there for the next transaction and then you get to see that full circle come around.
Yes. I've
That's always
seen
rewarding to me to
Oh
see.
my god, yes. I've seen, we just got married. I've seen we just had our 3rd baby, now we need a bigger house. I've seen, we bought this house when my kids were in high school, now we need to downsize because my husband and I want to just see each other all the time and not this big house. Like, I've so many stories that have been fulfilling and made my heart smile for making this decision in what I wanted to do as a career.
That's fabulous. What advice would you give someone who's thinking about a real estate career or just got their license? What are the could you say that you've learned along the way that you would be happy to impart to someone else?
Just to understand that it is self-driving, that no broker, no matter where you move to, you can move broker to broker. If you don't do the work, you won't eat. And I think that, some brokers right now are promising leads. And I don't know about you, but my very first year in real estate, I thought there was a cheat sheet. I bought the leads from realtor.com and Zillow. And I'm calling and spending $50 a call to hear someone say they were just up at 3 in the morning and couldn't sleep. So they thought they looked at luxury homes. $50 a pop.
And you're
So
thinking,
I
I
was
spent $50 to hear you say that, and I am not
Yes,
happy about that.
I'm not happy about it. So, the grit is in your own motivation. You are a walking billboard. It's your business and you do have to put in the work. Even if that is buying leads, expect to get 1 out of 500. That's the ratio.
And it's a hard number. I don't but your number is a realistic number.
It
And
is.
when you build
I'm not even being
relationships, it's a
sarcastic.
lot higher.
Yeah, with no relationships is a little higher because, again, you can call 500 people and get 1 or 2 leads, but in the event that no relationship is formed, they don't owe you anything. It's a relationship business.
So is there anything different for you in the future? What's to come?
So, growth is to come. One of the niches that I chose for real estate is sports and entertainment. So, I have dove in. I was a member of sports and entertainment for the brokerage that I have for 2 years. And I basically dove in and just learned. I learned what they did, how they did it, who they did it with, where they had to invest their time and money to do it. And I just mimicked what they did. And I'm glad to say that it has paid off. That is my
Good.
specific niche. I have built relationships with people in the industry, with returns coming back to me. I separated from the membership because now it's my thing. So my future holds a team that's going to advance my progress. I look forward to building up more leaders because now I am a leader. And then, at some point, just sitting on the beach and making phone calls and getting paid.
I may come along with you. That sounds fun.
Come on, I'm right along. Just bring a glass for a cocktail.
Bring your own laptop, bring your own glass. I'm in.
Yep. We can work with cell phone, laptop, beach. As long as we got shade and can see the screen, we can work.
Yes, yes. Well, this has been such a joy for me in talking with you today. I love hearing your story and how you've been able to build your business. Is there any other parting words you would want to give to our audience?
I just want to tell the audience to just dive in, do your best, put your best foot forward, but be honest. People like honesty. They like knowing that you're a real person and that they can trust you. You're not transactional. You're not a robot. Even on social media, don't just be a realtor, be a person too. Your personality is a big part of your business, and relationships is where the sweetness is.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we naturally gravitate to the niches that we serve and it's just showing up and being who we are.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Dee Dee. I've enjoyed this today and
Thank you.
enjoyed our conversation. Hope to do it again someday.
Absolutely. I'm open for it anytime. I appreciate it.
This episode has been sponsored by Home Smart Stars. Agents, do you feel unseen, unheard? Maybe wish you had better commission. Maybe wish that you were welcomed and encouraged to show up, to just show up as you are and be your true, authentic self, and have all the training and support and tools to help you thrive in your real estate career. If so, then you need to reach out to Home Smart Stars and make Home Smart Stars your home for real estate.